Now, because it is Parashat Yitro, and because I like telling stories, allow me to give you the words that I've adapted this evening from Rabbi Mark Gelman, who those of you who lived in the last century, raise your hand if you were alive in the last century. Excellent. So I don't have to introduce you to Pearl Jam. He didn't write anything for Pearl Jam. But what he did write about were the Ten Commandments, or as he put them, the rock words. And this is his story. When Moses got the Ten Commandments atop Sinai, he wrote them on two big rocks. But Moses couldn't possibly write down everything that God had said. He knew that the more detail, the more rocks, but two rocks was just about all he could handle climbing down that mountain. So Moses, he wrote in shorthand, and this is how it turned out. So God first said to Moses, "Moses, as you know, I am God." The first thing you're going to do is teach people what that means. I warn you, this won't be easy, because I'm not like anything else. Some think I'm an old man with a house in the clouds, but that's not true. Some think I have hands, feet, big toes, but that's not true. Some think, well, ultimately, that they believe in me only if they can see me. But that's not going to happen because I'm invisible. So some will think that I'm nowhere, but you know that I'm everywhere. Explaining about me is going to be a tough job. Try to explain to the people that I made each of them special. That even though I made them good, I also made them free to be bad. I'm strong, but I won't stop them from doing wrong. They have to learn to stop themselves. Some may think it's all right to do wrong because I won't stop them, but you'd better tell them I have a terrific memory. Explain that someday each of them is going to die. And that's when their souls will have a little chat with me. Tell them I love everybody just the way they are. But I also want everybody to be better. Explain that I'm the one they have to thank for every good thing they get. Remind them that I'm the one that took them out of Egypt to be free, who gave them a good world to live in, and who made goofy animals like the platypus so they could have a good laugh. Moses thought over what God had just said. Then he decided to carve on the rock, "I, the Eternal, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage, and gave you the platypus." Then Moses thought some more and took out the part about the platypus. Then God said, "Don't even think of having another God. I made everything, everywhere, in heaven, on earth, over, under, and in the water. I made everything that's sometimes underwater, but mostly on land, everything that sometimes is on land, but mostly is underwater. I made everything that flies around, buzzes in your ear, and lands on your nose. I made everything that's fuzzy and cute, that's slimy and cold. I made everything with feathers and scales and bad breath and sweet songs. Just make sure they get that none of these things I made are me. None were made so that you'd pray to them or love them like you love each other or love me. Teach them that the universe is filled with just two kinds of things: stuff and the one who made the stuff. I'm the one who made the stuff. I know that people want to worship what they can see, and they can't see me. I know they might pick something they can see and call it God, but it isn't. Only I'm God. People will worship mud if you let them, so be careful. It'll take 3 or 4 generations for your kids to get it right if you mess up. The good news is that if you get it right, your children will get it right for 1,000 generations. And if you get it wrong, if you pray to some stuff that isn't me, don't think that it doesn't matter or that I'm so big and so invisible that I don't care and won't be watching. I'm always watching, and I do care because I don't want people praying to stuff. Everything but me isn't me. Moses thought it over, and then he decided to carve. You shall not make a sculptured image or any likeness of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters underneath. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I am an impassioned God, visiting the guilt of parents upon children, upon the 3rd and 4th generations of those who reject me, but showing kindness to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. Then God said, don't swear. People swear when something bad happens to them, and they use my name when they swear. They always think that I bring something bad. I don't want this. If you drop a rock on your foot, I'm not the one who dropped it, okay? So I couldn't get the blame. Get this straight. I'm the place everything good comes from. So using my name to swear isn't right. Now you may be thinking, if God's the place everything good comes from, then what's the place everything bad comes from? Look, bad comes from 2 places. It comes from bad things you do, even though I told you not to do bad things. And it comes from holes in the world. I put holes in the world, like diseases, so you could use those big brains I gave you to cure them. I put holes in the world so you'd have something important to do with your lives. So from now on, understand that my name shouldn't be used with a curse word. My name should only be used when you're patching up the holes in the world, or saying words like thank you, or I love you. I get that it's hard to control what you say if a rock falls on your foot, but just try to say ow or oof. Please don't put my name and the word damn together, okay? My name's a blessing. You know that. Moses thought about it, and then he carved these words. You shall not swear falsely by the name of God, for God will not clear one who swears falsely by God's name. Then God said, tell the people not to work all the time. Rest at least one day of the 7, which is the day I call Shabbat. If you work all the time, you'll get old too fast, you'll get tired too fast, get sick too fast. Work all the time, and you won't spend enough time with your children growing up. So they probably won't want to spend so much time with you when you get older. Work all the time, and you won't notice the great things I made for you to enjoy. Sunsets, butterflies, baseball, walking through crunchy leaves in the fall, dancing to music, hugging and kissing. Work all the time, and you won't share with or help or teach the people around you. You won't get outside yourself and learn to feel the pain and joy of others. Sure, work will get you money, and money will get you stuff. But stuff won't fill your heart as the years slip away. That's why I gave Shabbat, to remember that work isn't enough to fill up a life, to remember that work is what you do, not what you are. So Moses, he carved these words, remember Shabbat and keep it holy. 6 days you'll labor and do your work, but the seventh day is a rest of the eternal. You shall not do any work. You, your child, your servant, your cattle, the stranger within your settlements. For in 6 days God made heaven and earth and sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh. Therefore God blessed Shabbat and hallowed it. Then God said, "Tell the children to do what their parents ask them to do, even if they think it's stupid. But don't do what your parents ask you to do if it's wrong or if it hurts somebody." Most of the things parents ask children to do are good things, right things, things that'll make them good people when they grow up. Doing what parents ask is one of the big ways to show love and respect, and children should do what parents ask right away. They get no credit from me for doing something after being asked 100 times. They'll learn soon enough that being a parent is hard. Kids don't come with instruction books. Parents are guessing most of the time, but most get it right. Because when you love a child, most things fall into place. I made love so that it works that way, okay? Also, tell the children that parents get older and may need someone to care for them. This may be hard, might be expensive, might be time-consuming. But if a parent can take care of children, then children ought to be able to help a parent from time to time. Hugging and kissing parents for no special reason, thanking them for shopping for your food, telling them you're proud of them and that you think they did a good job raising you, asking their advice and even taking that advice sometimes, calling to see if they're well. These are great ways to honor parents that go way beyond picking up socks and making beds. Maybe the best way to show love and respect for parents is to raise good kids of your own. That way, parents can see that you really did grow up okay because of them. Moses heard all this, but he didn't have enough rocks to write everything down, so he decided to carve, "Honor your father and mother, that you may long endure on the land that God is assigning to you." God then said, "Life is so special. Everybody must learn that I'm the only one who should give it and the only one who should take it away. And because life is the best thing, murder is the worst thing. Murder not only kills a person, it also kills anybody who might have come from that person. Not all killing is murder. If you have to kill to save your own life, that's sad but not bad. If you have to fight a war to keep an enemy from taking over, that's sad but not bad. But if you kill to save your life, if you go to war, you better be sure there's no other choice. Remember that everybody has a right to live. That comes from me. You can't take that right away. Not now, not ever." Moses thought it over, and he did a really good job this time of shortening what God said to, "You shall not murder." Then God said, "Getting married is a holy thing. Doing it means you want to live the rest of your life with only that person as your spouse. Look, it's okay to sleep with a teddy bear, with a fuzzy duck, with a stuffed bunny, but it's not okay to sleep with someone who's married to somebody else." Moses was married, of course, so he knew about this already and quickly chiseled these words into the rock, "You shall not commit adultery." God then said, "Teach the people that stealing is bad. It's bad because it's not fair to take someone else's stuff. You have no right to take stuff. You do have a right to earn stuff. Most people know this, but stealing is still going to be a big problem because there are so many different kinds of stealing. If you get extra change at the store and don't give it back, stealing. If you're selling something and you say it's good when you know it's junk, stealing. If you copy from your neighbor's test paper, stealing. If you take someone's idea and say it's yours, stealing. There are lots of ways to steal, but only one way to be honest. So don't take anything that isn't yours. Give back what you get by mistake, and don't make people think that something is true when it isn't. Do this, and you'll be just fine. Remember, I'll be writing the scales someday, no matter what. Moses knew that people would get the idea if he simply carved, "You shall not steal." God then said, "Tell the truth. If you lie, no one will trust you. If you lie, you'll forget the difference between what's true and what isn't. If you lie, judges won't be able to decide fairly who to convict and who to free." The best reason to tell the truth, well, it's because I said so. And I wouldn't say so if it wasn't the right thing to do. Now, sometimes it's okay to tell a little lie. If someone is hiding from a bully in your house, and the bully comes around and asks if they're in your house, you can lie. If your friend is wearing new clothes that they like, you think their clothes look goofy, and they ask your opinion, you can lie. If two of your friends are fighting and stretching the truth will help them make up, you can lie. But be careful. Knowing when to lie and when to tell the truth is one of the harder things in life, so learn the difference. Moses really didn't have much space left, so he chiseled quickly, "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor." Finally, God said, "Tell people not to want what their neighbor has." I'm not against stuff, but there are more important things than stuff. If your neighbor's kind, it's good to want to be kind like them. If your neighbor's brave, it's good to want to be brave like them. But don't want your neighbor's stuff. Stuff won't make you a better person. That's what these commandments are for, right? Since Moses was right at the edge of the second rock and knew he couldn't lift any more than that, he finished God's 10 commandments by saying, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house, wife, servant, ox, donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's." After Moses finished writing down these rock words, God said, "Hey, you shortened them up just right. Kudos." And Moses said, "Hey, my pleasure. Now, could you please help me lift these rocks down the mountain?" And as we know, Moses managed well enough to bring God's rock words to the people. One set got smashed, the other one stuck. And through it, we learned, we taught, and we followed. And if you want to look at them in greater detail, as I said in the beginning, they're this week's Torah portion, at least in part. Let's continue to study these rock words. Long or short form will do. And let's be inspired to elevate our lives through study in order to meet or exceed our Creator's aspirations. Shabbat Shalom.